Little degrease action on the Ranger. When we work on this, we don't want to get all filthy and covered in power steering.
Oh yeah.
Power steering fluid, because power steering pump leaked. So we're about to get in here and get after these motor mounts, see if we can unbolt them, and then maybe we'll figure out if we're going to cut this firewall. Hit this with the pressure washer. It'll look brand new in here. As you can see, we got some paint discrepancies. Looks like we got a beautiful Bayside blue and some nice forest green over here. Truck was probably wrecked. It's gonna get wrecked again one day. Sketchy Rooster going ham with the degreaser.
Hey, this shit's free. I love them.
Here's a quick before shot of the engine bay before we blast it with the pressure washer. It's got some degreaser on it right now, so it looks a little bit shiny. As you can see, this is coated and all types of nasty. Looks like this front end was in a collision. It's got some shoddy collision repair work up here, but we're not worried about that. Shit out here. Wow, look at this. We take care of all our shit around here. We use
$5 engine covers.
Yep, that's a high dollar seat, isn't it? What is that from? A K5? Oh, what the fuck? Shh. Let's call it a Black Widow.
Ooh, look at him. He's angry.
I guess we got to give this motor back. It's not ours anymore. Here, Tyler. I don't think we're gonna get very far.
Really?
I'm scared.
Wait, hold on. We've got a bad plan.
We got nowhere to
got
go.
a lot of options.
Go that way.
Yeah. So
We don't want to make it harder. Let's move that. Is that thing movable? That
No, it's bolted to the ground.
Concrete floor now.
Yeah.
Ooh, shit. It's a little heavier than I thought.
What do you think?
Walk. You guys got it up. Just go.
Let's go.
Shuffle.
God damn.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, but where's Gordy? Gordy should be doing this by himself.
Let me
Screwing
see.
off in Houston.
Let me see. I'm gonna try.
You want to try it, Tyler?
I'll try. Fuck it.
I mean, it's
not so
okay.
heavy.
It's not that bad. It's
I can carry this all day now.
all day.
Walker leaves right before it gets hard.
It's just about to
Watch this shit there, Tyler. Watch this shit.
It was just cutting into my shoulder.
Okay,
Crap. All right.
Watch yourself.
Okay, hold on.
I'm like 2 steps. All right.
You can do it, guys.
All right.
The real hotness. Look how massive that turbo is. Oh, it's like opening.
Coming off.
Opening. What's that dude? King
Pandora's
Tut.
box.
King Tut's fucking tomb right here.
Oh, or that, yeah.
You want to zip these down, and hopefully it's drained of oil.
Oh.
A little bit of. I have no idea what the mileage is on this motor.
Oh, it's like almost like liquid gold. Like
It smells good. It smells like they change it every 5,000 miles.
Oh yeah. Sure.
That's good oil. That's fucking good oil. I'd put it on a salad. Look at this sick oil pickup. Plastic.
Is it good?
Yeah, they use plastic now because that's the hottest shit. Because plastic can't crack, right?
Yeah.
I guess I'll bust that off, and I think this new oil pickup's supposed to bolt right to it. Was there... What's the gasket? Just RTV? Oh, okay. I guess that's...
Is that all it is?
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
I guess we'll... I
Clean
mean,
it up. And
we can just permanently
high temperature
mount this
use.
pan if that baffle works or doesn't work or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, so after pulling this oil pan off and putting this pickup tube, the rear sump pickup tube on here, we noticed that this, I guess, is the balance shaft, whatever the fuck, balance shaft for balancing reasons.
I don't know. Tyler said so you don't tear 4 cylinders.
Yeah, 4
apart.
cylinders will blow up if you don't have them, or we're deleting it anyway. So this is the rear sump Ranger pan. And I bought this, this is a oil pan baffle for the 2.0 Ford Focus, whatever the fuck. This is a mount tune for the Ford Focus shit, because I didn't know that the Ranger oil pan was going to work. So this was for the original Ford Focus stuff. So I bought this oil pan baffle, which comes with the balance shaft delete, which is just this little billet thing with the screw or whatever. So you can't mount this rear sump oil pickup tube with the balance shaft in there, so you have to delete the balance shaft. So you don't need that oil pan baffle for the Ford Focus, obviously, because we're getting rid of that pan. So if I didn't buy it as a kit, I would have returned it, but I bought it as a kit. I'm going to use this balance shaft delete and maybe do an oil pan baffle later, because right now we're just going to temporarily mount the oil pan and set the motor in. So later on I might do a baffle, might not, don't really care. This should mount right up here, but the reason why we're not going to mount this pickup tube right now is because we don't have a gasket for the oil pump. If we look at the old one somewhere, when we look at the old one, it has like some type of O-ring gasket built into it. This is plastic, so that's trash. I'm going to try to pick up a pickup tube gasket, oil pump gasket for the 01 to 11 Ranger, and that should work on there. So for right now, we're going to put this pan back on, the new pan on, temporarily, and come back later and do the rest of it. All right, when you're using the new oil pickup off the 01 to 11 Ranger, which is right here. So here we have the Ranger oil pickup. You can see how that's just like a 1/8 inch thick or so. And then if you look at the one off this Escape or Focus, you can see it's about 1.25 inches or so. These bolts came off of this Escape engine. Obviously those are going to be way too long for this Ranger pickup tube, so we're just going to have to get some more bolts. There's 1 inch of thread from bottoming out, so we're thinking just do 3/4 of an inch of thread on a bolt that's the same size as this, which I'll take this to wherever hardware store tomorrow, and I'll get the same thread and just get a 3/4 inch bolt.
Yeah, put a washer on it.
Yeah, do a washer. We got to get a gasket.
Washer built in, basically.
I'll look up gaskets for the Ranger pickup tube, because you can't just do metal to metal. It's never going to seal.
I got a Keystone box. We can make one.
Put in some, I'll put in some good old tunes.
Look at this.
Man, what the
YouTube
fuck?
magic. What are you doing there?
Trying to get this fucking connector off here. But it's very, very... Are we filming? Okay, I'm not saying what I was going to say. Alright, here we go. We got the engine, the intake manifold off. So this was, this is the Ford Escape intake manifold. Anybody who knows anything about these direct injection engines, they don't, some of these, like the 2.7 and I think the 5.0 has direct and port injection. These 2 liters only have direct injection, and what happens is all this carbon builds up on the back of the valves. So if you can see in here, these valves are all have tons of carbon built up on the back side of them. So this engine was probably on the higher mileage side. I'm not sure how many miles were on this engine when I bought it. It was unknown. So I'm just gonna have to do a valve service, and I'm master tech over at Ford, so I know all about all this stuff. Get this taken care of like nothing. Anybody else doing this swap, when you pull your intake off, probably check your valves. They're probably dirty as shit. The little cans of cleaner I don't think really worked that well. I watched a video on it and it said the guy did it before and after, and it really didn't clean them off that well. So if you Google it, you can do, people put zip ties inside of a drill and then just jam it down in the ports and then clean off all this carbon, blow it out. So that's probably what I'll do before I put this on, because this is not no good to run it like that. A lot of people have misfire issues. Are we gonna start the whole thing on fire right now?
What is it, magic?
And throwing it in your face if you switch directions.
Fucking
Where's your YouTube channel? You're right, you ain't got no followers. Get the fuck out.
What do you have to say, Tyler?
Don't need to have followers to not be a dumbass.
Oh,
There we go. That's a good quote. We'll put that in the video.
yeah, press record. Yeah, there we go.
We would not have gotten it on video.
Precision.
X-Acto knife for X-Acto jobs. This is how you do this without removing the dash. Because whoever would waste time removing a dash
You can't say what you want to say.
isn't a real mechanic. Damn, this is terrible. This ain't gonna work. Like, this thing's barely
It's
cut.
weird. It's almost like if you remove the dash, that whole thing would just come off and be out of the way.
Well, but then you'd also have to waste your time removing the dash.
Alright. That's how you do it without taking out the freaking dash.
Yeah. Is that the airbag? Is that what that is? The airbag?
What is that?
Where's the screwdriver? It smells like airbag. I know what airbag smells like, let me tell you. Where's the fucking...
So that's not even the air box. That's like a inner liner. It's a pin.
What is that? Is it a pen?
Yeah.
What the fuck? What's hitting this fucking guard or something?
Yeah, trim work.
Alright, so after further inspection, we need to get the engine back because it has to go behind this I-beam, this front suspension I-beam, which on the newer Rangers you don't have, but on these older ones you have these I-beams. So the rear sump on the oil pan has to get behind this. So from what we looked at, it looks like we need at least a few inches. We're not sure if the transmission is going to have to go back or not yet, because we haven't tried that. But so far we've cut into the firewall and into the air box, and we're not sure if we're going to be able to save the air box or not. I'm okay with running without heat or AC for now. It would be nice to have at least heat, so we're going to try to maybe patch this up at some point in time, but for right now we're just cutting shit because we don't give a fuck. Alright, so we cut out as much firewall as we think we're going to need. it's possible we could still save the air box for maybe heat. But our next issue is we have these factory motor mounts, which we're going to have to remove. And we also believe we're going to have to cut into this cross member and possibly take an inch out of it. The biggest issue is the I-beam suspension on this, on these older Rangers, because the oil pan needs to go back behind that, and that's going to set the engine back further than it really needs to be. So with a newer Ranger 2001 and up, you don't have the, or maybe even, I don't know what year was the last year for the I-beam, but with the newer Rangers that don't have I-beam, you probably won't have this issue. It's kind of sucks because that's going to be the biggest problem, is getting the oil pan to sit behind the bullshit I-beams. You can't, those I-beams move up and down, so you can't have that up against the oil pan. So that's right now our biggest issue. Might have to cut more into the firewall, probably not, hopefully not. But after this, we're just gonna call it quits for today, get rid of these engine mounts, and then possibly cut into this cross member and see where that gets us. Next time we'll probably drop the trans on it and set that in and see if we need to move the trans back more, or are we going to be able to make it work the way it sits.